the German police are said to be gearing up for 500 Serbian hooligans who could target England fans for when teams face off on Sunday in England's first game of the tournament in the German city of Gelsenkirchen.
Very well done on that pronunciation. I wouldn't have had a clue. Officers in Germany are getting ready for the prospect of major fan disorder at what has been branded the most high-risk match of Euro 2024.
Well, this is sparking fears following England's previous Euros campaigns, which have been marred by riots, most recently before their 2016 opener against Russia, as well as the final of the last tournament 3 years ago. Yes, it did get rather... there was quite a bit of violence, wasn't there?
Yeah, a bit of fisticuffs. We can speak to the football writer Harry Harris, because Harry, how concerned should we be about tensions ahead of this game?
Oh, very concerned. I've been round the world following England, and most of the tournaments we've been talking about the hooligans more than anybody else. That's a problem that we've experienced all the time. So, unfortunately, I think we need to be very concerned. There will be a massive police presence, but what I experience mostly is that because the hooligans now know that the security is so tight in and around the stadium that they congregate at railway stations, city centres, bars, and of course, England fans don't do themselves any favours. As we can see, they become a target with their behaviour, mostly bare-chested, excessive drinking, larking around, throwing chairs around, etc. Being, all the bravado we've seen in the past, and of course, we used to lead the way in hooliganism, but we don't anymore. The rival fans are much better organised, and certainly in volumes and numbers. And I think the media have a very interesting role to play here. The more we're talking about it, particularly in the newspapers, the more we're inflaming a situation and inevitably going to cause these riots to happen, because the hooligans are going to see it as a challenge. So even genuine fans who are going out there with tickets wanting to see the football, it will attract hooligans who have no interest in the football and have no tickets. They would just be going out there for the violence.
So do you feel uncomfortable talking about it? Talking about it in the media? I mean, I was going to ask you to remind us how bad this sort of thing can get.
Well, we've seen it with the portrayal of black players in the bad performance in the last match, that they became the focal point, and that became an issue should the media be targeting those particular players. And I think we have to take it to this point as well. How much should the media be, highlighting this kind of violence that's going to take place? It's fair enough reporting it if it takes place and condemning it and finding solutions to it. But previewing it in such a heavy-handed way is going to inflame it, because it's a challenge to a lot of hooligans to go out there ticketless but seeking violence.
What is this about football that attracts quite often a level of violence?
Well, because it's so territorial, it's so international. We're talking about international football in particular, where political aspects become ingrained into the sport where it shouldn't be. And there's so much chanting that we find with the English fans that is so inflammatory and political, and they don't even know what they're singing about. So it is a recipe for disaster. And
yes, well, Harry, thank you very much indeed for joining us and talking to us about that. Harry Harris, you're